Okay, so have you ever stared at your to-do list and just felt totally overwhelmed? Like, where do I even begin?
Oh, absolutely. We've all been there.
Yeah.
It's like that feeling of just drowning in tasks.
Exactly. But what if the secret isn't working harder, but working smarter?
Hmm. Working smarter.
I like that. Right. And that's where today's deep dive comes in. We're exploring planner layouts, specifically the top 5 highlighted in an article called, get this, Planner Layouts, Top 5 to Boost Workplace Productivity.
Okay, top 5 planner layouts. Sounds intriguing.
It is, and it's written by Leo Sia, who's actually the CEO of Lion Paper Products.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, we're not just going to list these layouts, we're going to dig into the why.
The why.
Yeah, like the psychology behind what makes them tick, backed by research.
Okay, so there's some science behind
Good
these.
time. And get this, one of the layouts called time blocking can actually boost task completion by 25%.
Wow, 25%. That's a pretty significant jump.
Right. And that's just one of the layouts. So if those generic planners haven't really been doing it for you, get ready, because we're about to unlock a system that actually works with your brain, not against it.
So it's like finding a planner that actually clicks with how you think.
Exactly. And the first layout we're going to tackle is, like I mentioned, time blocking. Now, it might sound simple, but trust me, there's a method to the madness.
Okay, time blocking. Break it down for me.
All right, so think about it. We live in a world of constant distractions, emails, phone notifications.
Oh, don't forget social media. That's a huge one.
Oh, huge. And all those cat videos.
Yeah.
So we're constantly switching between tasks. And that, my friend, is a productivity killer.
Makes sense. Like you can't really focus on anything when you're jumping between a million things.
Exactly. And the article really dives into this. Our brains aren't designed for multitasking. Every time we switch gears, there's a mental cost.
Yeah.
So think about it this way. Have you ever tried to juggle like 5 different projects at once and ended up feeling like you got nothing done?
Oh, all the time. It's like spinning plates and they all come crashing down.
Right. It's like trying to write a report, text your friend, and plan dinner all at the same time. Your brain just fries.
It's not about willpower then.
Nope. It's about working with our brains, not against them.
Okay, so where does time blocking fit into all of this?
That's the magic solution. You dedicate specific blocks of time to individual tasks.
So you're minimizing distractions that way.
Exactly. You eliminate the constant switching and tap into a deeper level of focus.
And you said there's research to back this up.
Oh, yeah. The Productivity Institute, they found that time blocking can lead to a 25% increase in task completion.
25%? That's huge.
I know, right? Makes sense, though. You're basically creating a schedule for your tasks, just like you would for meetings.
Okay, so I get the concept, but isn't that, I don't know, a bit too rigid? Like what about those unexpected things that pop up during the day?
That's where the customization comes in. You can block out time for big projects, but also those little tasks that can eat away at your day.
Okay, so you build in some flexibility.
You got it. You can even schedule in buffer time just to handle those unexpected interruptions.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this could work.
Yeah.
So it's not just about being rigid, but being more intentional with your time.
Exactly. You're in control, not the other way around. I love that. But sometimes I struggle with seeing the big picture, like zooming out.
The bigger picture.
Yeah. And that's where the next layout shines. It's called the weekly overview layout.
Weekly overview, like bird's eye view kind of thing.
Exactly. It's all about getting a clear view of your entire week.
Right.
It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and miss those important deadlines.
Oh yeah, or even worse, double book yourself.
Yes, tell me about it. I once scheduled 2 client calls for the same time.
Oh no!
Not my finest moment, but with the weekly overview, you basically map out your entire week. Meetings, deadlines, personal stuff, everything.
So you're being proactive.
You got it. It helps you spot conflicts, see where you have time for focused work, and adjust your schedule accordingly.
So less stress then.
Way less stress. The Journal of Applied Psychology found that this layout actually reduces stress by 30%.
Wow, 30%. That's pretty amazing.
Right. Plus, it helps you clarify your goals for the week.
Okay, so less stress, more clarity. It's all starting to make sense. But what about those days when you just have a million things on your to-do list and everything feels urgent? How do you even prioritize?
The classic to-do list overwhelm.
Yeah, it's like a monster sometimes.
And that's where the priority grid layout steps in to save the day.
Priority grid. Okay, lay it on me.
So this layout helps you make those tough decisions by categorizing your tasks based on 2 things: urgency and importance.
Urgency and importance. So you're not just randomly picking tasks.
Exactly. It's strategic. You create a simple grid, with 4
The
quadrants.
quadrants, okay.
And it forces you to look at each task and be like, okay, is this urgent and important?
So something with a deadline would probably go in that top quadrant.
Exactly. But something like checking emails, that might be urgent, but it's not as important as, say, finishing that big project.
Oh, okay. And you always focus on those urgent and important tasks first.
Makes sense. Get those big rocks out of the way first.
Exactly. No more getting lost in those email black holes. And get this, a Harvard Business Review study found that using these grids can boost productivity by, wait for it, 35%.
Wow. That's incredible. So it's all about really focusing your energy where it matters most.
You got it.
Okay, so we've covered some pretty structured layouts so far, but what about those of us who, crave a little more flexibility?
Ah, yes, the free spirits of the planning world.
Great.
Well, the bullet journal layout is for you, my friend.
Bullet journal. Tell me more about it.
So this is the ultimate customizable system. It's perfect if you've got multiple projects, random thoughts, big dreams swirling around.
Okay, so it's flexible. You can mold it to fit your needs.
You got it. It's all about visual organization.
Visual organization.
Yeah, you use bullet points, symbols,
Yeah.
indexes to create a system that works for you.
So you can track everything from your big goals to your daily tasks. Exactly. And even those random sparks of inspiration that pop up, it's less about rigid structure and more about creating a framework that evolves with you.
And it's personalized, right?
Totally. And there's another cool layer here, and it's the psychology of journaling. Psychology Today, they highlight how journaling can actually improve mental clarity.
Really?
Yeah, and it helps you manage stress. And when you're less stressed, guess what?
You're more productive.
Bingo. You're focused and ready to tackle your to-do list.
Okay, so a bullet journal is like decluttering your mind.
Exactly. And because it's so personalized, it can also boost your motivation and engagement.
You're more likely to stick with it because it feels like you.
Absolutely. But what about those of us who just want something simple? No bells and whistles.
Simple and straightforward.
Exactly. Well, that's where the daily task list layout comes in.
Back to basics.
Back to basics. It's all about having a clear, concise list of everything you need to get done that day.
No fancy grids or anything.
Nope, just a simple list you can check off as you go.
I gotta admit, there's something satisfying about checking things off a list.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like a little mini victory with each check mark. In Forbes, they actually pointed out that checking things off a list triggers dopamine in the brain.
Dopamine.
Yeah, it's like a little reward system. It makes you feel good, so you're more motivated to keep going.
Interesting. So you're kind of hacking your brain into being more productive.
Exactly. But before we move on to the next layout, I want to emphasize something.
What's that?
The importance of customization.
Customization, yeah.
You might be thinking, why not just buy a pre-made planner?
Right, that's what I usually do.
But the magic happens when you tailor the system to your own needs, your own preferences. It's like we're all different, right?
Right.
Our productivity systems should reflect that.
Okay, so it's like you wouldn't wear shoes that don't fit.
Exactly.
You need a planner that fits your style.
You got it. And guess what? The National Institute of Health, they found that personalized planners actually lead to a 25% increase in task completion.
25%. That's amazing.
I know, right? And a 30% reduction in stress levels.
Okay, so you're telling me a custom planner can make me more productive and less stressed.
That's what the research says. It's all about creating a system that feels intuitive and engaging for you.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've got 5 powerful layouts: time blocking, weekly overview, priority grid, bullet journal, and the daily task list. What's the big takeaway here?
It's that there's no one-size-fits-all solution. It's all about experimenting.
Experimenting.
Yeah, and figuring out what works best for you.
You need a system that fits your goals and your style.
Exactly. And that's where I think custom notebooks come in, right? You can really take these layouts and run with them, like build your own little productivity system.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can have different sections for brainstorming, project notes, tracking your habits.
Oh, even like vision boards, right, for goals.
Totally. Vision boards, anything you can think of.
So it's like taking these layout ideas and making them your own.
Yeah, exactly. Make it your own.
I love that. But I have a question, like, where do you even begin? Like, how do you even start with all of this?
Well, I think the first step is to think about your current workflow. What are your pain points? What are you actually hoping to achieve?
Okay, so you're kind of identifying the problems first.
Right. And then, look back at the layouts we've talked about and see which ones really kind of resonate with you.
Okay, so see what sparks your interest.
Yeah, or maybe addresses those specific challenges you've identified.
Okay, so it's a little bit of trial and error.
It is, absolutely. Experiment, adapt, See what works best for you.
Okay, but backing up for a second, why is all this planning even important? Like, beyond just getting stuff done. I mean, what are the real benefits?
You've hit on something crucial. It's not just about checking off boxes.
Right.
It's about being in control. Control of your time, control of your energy. When you have a plan, you're less likely to feel overwhelmed, less reactive.
You're proactive.
Exactly. You're proactive. You're not just like letting the day run you.
Yeah.
You're shaping it.
It's like the difference between being swept away by a current and steering your own ship.
Perfect analogy, yeah.
Hmm.
It's like moving from that, oh my gosh, I have so much to do,
Yeah.
to, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on today.
Yeah.
This is how I'm going to approach it.
And that just shifts your whole mindset.
Exactly. Your whole mindset.
I mean, you're more focused.
You're more efficient.
And honestly, more satisfied at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Plus, there's that sense of accomplishment you get,
Yeah.
when you actually achieve your goals.
Oh,
And
yeah.
a good plan, it's like a roadmap to get there.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm ready to plan. But what about procrastination? I mean, we all face it, right? Like, how do these layouts actually help us get over those humps when motivation just disappears?
Procrastination, it often stems from feeling overwhelmed or unsure of where to start. And these layouts can help with that because they provide structure, they provide clarity. They break down those big, daunting tasks into smaller, more manageable steps.
So it's like, instead of staring at this massive project and feeling paralyzed, you're just focused on that one small step.
Exactly. Exactly. And remember that dopamine rush we talked about? You get that from checking things off a list.
Oh, yeah, those little wins.
Even those small tasks, it helps create momentum. It helps create motivation.
You're like tricking your brain into enjoying the process.
And the visual aspect can be incredibly helpful. Seeing your progress laid out, whether it's checking boxes or moving tasks across a board, that can be a huge motivator.
Oh, totally. Like, you're literally seeing yourself make progress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But let's be real. Even with the best laid plans, sometimes life happens.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's when self-compassion comes in. It's okay to have those off days.
So you're saying it's not about being perfect.
It's not about perfection, no. It's about progress.
Okay, I like that. It takes the pressure off a little bit.
Yeah, acknowledge those off days. Adjust your plan if you need to. Get back on track. It's about finding a system that supports you in the long run, not some unattainable ideal.
Finding what works for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, what are your thoughts on the kind of the psychological side of planning? Like, how does it impact our well-being beyond just productivity?
Well, I've definitely noticed when I feel more in control of my time, my stress levels go way down.
Oh, absolutely. There's a huge connection between our sense of control and our mental health.
Yeah.
When we feel in control of our time, our lives, it reduces stress, it reduces anxiety.
But a sense of agency. Right.
Right, exactly. You're not just reacting to circumstances, you're shaping them.
You're in the driver's seat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And planning can even help with your sense of purpose. When you set goals and actually work toward them, it gives you direction. It gives you a sense of accomplishment.
Like you have a roadmap.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
your life.
Yep.
Professionally, personally.
Guiding you towards what you want to achieve.
And it helps you become more self-aware.
More self-aware.
Yeah, because when you plan, you're forced to kind of stop and reflect. What are my priorities?
Okay.
What are my values? What really matters to me?
It's like a mindful pause, a check-in with yourself.
Yeah, and it helps you make sure you're actually spending your time on the things that really resonate with you.
So it's not just about getting stuff done, it's about living a more intentional life.
Exactly.
But I have to admit, sometimes the idea of planning just feels a little too rigid, Like, it might stifle my creativity or spontaneity.
That's a valid point.
Mm-hmm.
But it's important to remember that planning is just a tool.
Okay, a tool.
And like any tool, it can be used in different ways.
So it's not about being a slave to your schedule.
Right? You don't have to be a robot.
You're right.
It's about finding a balance. Structure, yes, but also flexibility.
Okay.
You can have an outline for your day or your week and still leave space for those unexpected opportunities or those moments of inspiration.
And that's where those different layouts come in, right? Some are more flexible than others.
Exactly. If you're more of a free spirit, that bullet journal might be your best friend.
Right.
But if you need a bit more structure, time blocking can provide that.
So it's all about personalizing it to fit your own work style and your personality.
Exactly. It's a journey, not a destination. There's no perfect plan, no perfectly planned life. It's about making progress, adapting as you go, and embracing the whole process.
It's the journey, not the destination. I like that. But for those who are maybe a little hesitant to jump into the planning world, where do they even begin? What's that first step?
Start small. That's my advice.
Okay, small.
Choose one layout that really speaks to you and just experiment with it for a week or two. See how it feels, adjust it if you need to. And don't be afraid to try something else if it's not working out.
So it's all about experimentation, really finding what clicks.
Exactly. And remember, the goal isn't to become some sort of, hyper-organized robot.
Right, right. It's
Yeah.
not about being perfect.
Exactly. It's about finding a system that helps you be more productive, more focused, more fulfilled in your work and in your life.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired. But before we wrap things up, do you have any additional tips, like anything that can help us maximize the benefits of all this planning we're talking about?
Absolutely. First, make planning a habit.
Okay, I have it.
Whether it's a quick review of your schedule every morning or a longer session on a Sunday night, consistency is key.
Like brushing your teeth, but for your brain.
Exactly. Second, set realistic expectations.
Realistic expectations.
Yeah, don't try to do too much too soon. Start small, achievable goals, and then you can gradually increase the complexity as you get more comfortable.
So you're building momentum.
Exactly. Third, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Ask for help.
If you're struggling with a particular task or you're feeling overwhelmed, reach out to a colleague, a mentor, a friend.
Sometimes just talking it through can help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a good reminder that you're not in this alone. And finally, don't forget to celebrate your accomplishments.
Oh, celebrate. Yes.
When you achieve a goal, take a moment to acknowledge your hard work. Reward yourself for those efforts.
Those little celebrations can really keep you motivated.
Exactly. They reinforce those good habits.
Oh.
So we've covered a lot today, but here's one final thought for you. Planning, it's an investment in yourself.
Okay, an investment.
It's about taking control of your time, your energy, and ultimately your life.
And like any investment, it takes time and effort to see those returns.
It does. But those rewards, increase productivity, less stress, a greater sense of purpose. They're well worth it.
Yeah, it's like you're investing in a better, less stressed version of yourself.
Totally. And a life that really reflects what matters to you.
Yeah.
We've covered a ton today, but before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a challenge.
A challenge. Okay, I like challenges.
Think back to all those layouts we talked about, the time blocking, the weekly overview, all of that.
Yeah.
Which one really stuck with you? Which one kind of sparked your interest or seemed to really address something you've been struggling with?
Okay, so pick one and then what?
Then I want you to take one small step today to actually try it out.
Okay.
It could be super simple, like sketching out a time block schedule just for tomorrow, or making a quick priority grid for your to-do list.
Okay, so put it into practice. Don't just think about it. Actually do it.
Exactly. Even tiny changes can make a difference over time.
So it's all about taking action.
Yeah, taking action. So whether you're a planning pro or just starting out, give it a try, have fun with it, see how this can really transform your work, your day, even your whole life.
Who knows? You might uncover some hidden organization talent you didn't even know you had.
You never know.
That's true. Well, that wraps up our deep dive on planner layouts. Hope you found it useful and inspiring.
Remember, the right system can help you take control, reduce that stress, and actually achieve your goals.
So get out there, find what works for you, and go make that future self proud.
Make that future self proud.